Here is lower level 1. Well, do you see anything that looks familiar after looking at lower level 2? I think you'll see a lot of familiarity here. Once again, here's the blueprint for our arena stage. Another load-in or storage area here. Actually, this is open to below, so this is just an open space here. Then we have over here our thrust stage theater. And at lower level 1, we have a load-in for our musicians, where they would go up these ramps here, these center ramps, and load into the orchestra pit when it is being used for a show. Also, the thrust stage theater offers the variability of straight ramps coming into the house, or those ramps can be taken out and there were ramps going down to form a vomitorium from the stage level down to lower level 1. Actually, you come off the stage and you come down to a landing at what would be lower level 0.5, which is 10 feet below stage level. There would be a changing area there, changing room and all, and makeup area there for fast changes. And then the ramp continues on down to the lower level 1. So this space over here is lower level 1 that's open to the stage, and we could build up platforms for entrances. This is basically a trap room here is what this is. So we can have entrances from underneath the stage. If we needed to, we could add a lift there for a show, let's say. We also have the opportunity at lower level 1 in that trap room. You could load off pieces off of these lifts going up from lower level 2 with scenery. You could bring off at this level or load on. The yellow you see is actually looking at lower level 2. That's below. So on this level, if you came off of our freight elevators, we have 2 of them. I forgot to mention in lower level 2 here in the back. When you come off this railing here where the white meets the yellow, there would be a railing, because overlooking that is 20 feet down to lower level 2. You could come around here though into this space and come through to, once again, remember we have 2 dressing rooms with restrooms. We have 2 more prop shop and storage areas. We have more storage areas here. And as far as the proscenium house goes, this load off area here from the lifts could go straight into the scenic storage area here. Only 9 feet tall, but this can hold a lot of furniture, etc. there in that storage space. Over here we have larger restrooms. This is to accommodate our musicians. It is our hope that we will have a ensemble of musicians that will be part of the Center for Theater to accommodate our musical productions as well as our other special events in the building, at the Cabaret Theater up on 5, at the First Nighters Club, and at special events, perhaps playing in the lobby for certain things or whatever. On this level, where the green room was on below, right here, this is now on lower level 1. That space becomes a rehearsal room for our orchestras and as a remote orchestra location for our arena theater. The arena theater is the only one that does not have an orchestra pit, but we will offer remote orchestras, live remote orchestras, or we can record and work with tracks in that hall there. From the orchestra lounge, which is right here behind the orchestra rehearsal room, we have a direct access into the orchestra pit to load in instruments, etc. And then when the pit is raised to a show height, you can either ride it up to show height, or if you want to stay in the lounge a little longer, you certainly may, and you have the opportunity to follow a ramp up to an entrance into the orchestra pit from there. Also, that ramp serves as well as for the thrust stage serves as kind of an emergency exit. So if there anything happens, or if someone was ill or something, they could get out of the orchestra pit without having to wait till the end of the act. So that's another little safety measure. A couple of things I did not point out in lower level 2 that I would like to point out for you here is, in addition, we have two what we call freight elevators here towards the rear of the building. We have two elevators here, which are our public elevators in the front of the building that are right off the lobby. And currently we have three stairwells for access to the building. We have one here in the back, one here in the back, and then one right up here in the front of the building, both for fire and for also easy access from floor to floor in the building. The space over here is open to below also, this long space here, orange space, and this would be storage area for drops and for soft goods. We could store in that area, as well as large pieces of scenery could be stored here and rolled in and then onto the platforms and brought up on the lifts for the thrust stage theater. Finally, this area here in the center, in the front, will house some sculptures, some what I call monumental sculptures, 4 of them, hopefully. One to represent the School of Theater, one to represent the Hall of Fame, one to represent the Trinity Shakespeare Festival, and then perhaps an LED large Christmas tree for the holidays that would be stored down there. And there is a lift on lower level 2 down below where all this is stored that can bring these large sculptures right up to the lobby itself. So this space here is open on lower level 1, is open to below, to lower level 2, where all the large sculptures will be stored. Once again, scenic storage, 250 feet by 45 by 9 feet tall on this one. So this is lower level 1. Our next stop is to show you the intermediate floors here, lower level 0.5, lower level 1.5, and takes you to lower level 2.